Welcome back to another F1 video for you guys, man. Great race this past weekend. Shout out to my boy Charles Leclerc for actually getting the race done, actually winning the race this time. Fortunately, Carlos Sainz had a car issue again. Perez spun out, so very, very interesting race, but at the same time, I enjoyed it. Appreciate everyone who did stop by and enjoy the race, man. And yeah, so you guys don't know, I'm not going to be here from this. I'm leaving I think this Friday. I'm leaving this Friday till about Wednesday. So I'm going to be gone for about 4 or 5 days. So I'm trying to drop as many videos as I can for you guys before I leave. And but fortunately, I'm not going to be gone. So I may actually miss. But I don't think there is going to be a race this upcoming weekend. I don't think so. I have to check. But if there is, I probably won't be live for that. So I just want to let you guys know that. And other news in the F1 world. This dude right here, Michael Masi, he apparently left F1 in general. I didn't really know too much about him. Don't really know what went down. So hopefully his video kind of explains to us what really happened, what led to the decision. You guys will probably know. You guys will probably know a lot more about that compared to me, which I would expect. And let's get started. So if you are new to the channel, do not forget to like the video and sub. Let's start.
They are aware of radio messages between Red Bull chief and race director Michael Masi that have raised fresh questions over the outcome of the Abu Dhabi title decider. Max Verstappen snatched the Formula One World Championship from his rival Lewis Hamilton in dramatic fashion 2 months ago, with supporters calling into question the decision-making of Masi in the final knockings of the race. Having led...
Still to this day, that last race, I think part of me did feel like Lewis did blue because Lewis could just got the pits, but I've always felt I was just like, obviously Lewis Hamilton had to race, but unfortunately it was an accident like the last lap or two, and yeah.
Led from the start, a safety car was deployed.
I always
with
felt
5 laps
to go.
Collision
But Lewis had a chance to pit though.
Hamilton looks set to coast to victory with 5 lapped cars separating himself and Red Bull's Verstappen. However, Masi ordered the lapped cars to unlap themselves, resulting in Verstappen closing the gap on his British rival. With the Dutchman on a fresher set of tyres, he was able to pass Hamilton on the final lap to win the championship. Masi has been accused of giving in to pressure applied by Red Bull chief Christian Horner and sporting director Jonathan Wheatley.
Whoa. So, Buddy Slick soft? Hold up. So, is Red Bull... That's interesting. I don't have the exact words, but that's interesting.
Resulting in his decision not to follow the FIA rules and allow the cars to pass.
So he slick
The
cheated.
video footage of a conversation between Masi and sporting director Wheatley appears to provide further evidence of the race director reacting to Red Bull's demands. In the radio messages, Masi is heard receiving advice from Wheatley on how to deal with the lapped cars, with Red Bull desperate for a final lap shootout. Masi takes on the message from Wheatley, then decides to instruct the 5 lapped cars to unlap themselves. When questioned by Mercedes chief Toto Wolff, Masi is heard repeating the same language used by Wheatley in the previous message. Wheatley first says, "Those lapped cars, you don't need to let them go right the way round to catch up with the back of the pack. You only need to let them go. And then we've got a motor race on our hands." Understood, the Australian responds before making his decision. When Wolff demands a reason for that controversial call, Masi replies, "Toto, it's called a motor race, okay?" The video has gained traction on...
That ain't no explanation. So how you having a full-on conversation with the Red Bull team, but not with the Mercedes team? I can see why, buddy. Yeah, I can see why there was...
It was initially released by Formula One 4 days after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, but only now has it caused a whirlwind online with the hashtag...
Let me see, imagine a football team losing 5-0, asking to have 5 goals added to the score in the final minute to make it a interesting end. And the referee just saying, "Understood. Complete sporting scandal." Yeah. Yeah, that's weird. That's weird. That's weird now. Oh no, hey.
F1 XED, or F1
That's
Fix,
weird, though.
if you will, trending as a result. The BBC reports that the FIA have access to all the radio communication from Abu Dhabi, so are aware of the footage. They are due to release the findings of their inquiry into the controversial ending to the season finale at a meeting of the F1 Commission next Monday. The inquiry was launched to determine how the mistakes in the desert were made, with BBC also reporting that figures within the FIA acknowledged that Masi failed to follow the rules correctly, which consequently had an effect on the title outcome. The same outlet claims that there is a growing belief that Masi's position as race director is untenable following his judgment.
Now, I do know he left his positions like the racing director, like a while back ago. But I think today, or like whatever, like recently, he officially left the whole like F1 org.
Was in Abu Dhabi. The race director is afforded the discretion to decide whether lapped cars are allowed through to unlap themselves, but the rules set out that any cars that have been lapped by the leader will be required to pass the cars on the lead lap and the safety car. Yet Masi only ordered for the cars between Hamilton and Verstappen to unlap themselves and opted to leave any cars between the rest of the top six. Moreover, FIA rules explain that once lapped cars pass, racing will start at the end of the following lap. Had the rules been followed, Verstappen would have been unable to overtake Hamilton because the race would not have been restarted due to it being the final lap. However, Masi restarted the race immediately, which saw the Dutchman pass Hamilton with ease to win the title.
Wow.
There was some uncertainty surrounding Hamilton's future following what felt was an unjust ending to the 2021 season. The 37-year-old undertook an 8-week social media silence after the Abu Dhabi race, but recently resurfaced on social media. He shared an image of himself at the Grand Canyon with the caption "I'm back" on Instagram and was seen visiting the Mercedes factory at Brackley, Northamptonshire, with preparations for the new season well underway. Former F1 driver and now esteemed pundit Martin Brundle says the audio of Jonathan Wheatley pleading with Michael Masi during the Abu Dhabi finale is really uncomfortable and hugely
Very weird. Very
he says
weird.
F1 cannot have a situation where the teams can influence the race director. It's not new news. And also, I think you have to understand that it's not necessarily telling Michael Masi something he didn't already know, he told Sky F1.
But it seemed like Michael Masi knew the rules, but then he changed it to appease the Red Bull team. Because why are you only allowing the lap cars between Verstappen and Hamilton, but not everybody else? What?
Not assume it's giving Masi information he didn't already know in terms of what he could do and what he couldn't
Like, you
in
can't
terms
do
of
that.
the lap.
Like, it's just...
Of course, it's really uncomfortable and a lot of people are unhappy. Hamilton fans, Mercedes fans, and you don't even have to be a Lewis Hamilton fan to think that forever he should be an 8-time world champion, because for me, the really crucial regulation that wasn't carried out was that the safety car should have come in at the end of the following lap. But we also know that unwritten rules and meetings, which shouldn't supersede anything, were let's try not to have a race finish behind a safety car. Hugely unacceptable. I met so many fans that were new to Formula One last year particularly, and fans in general that were hugely upset by what happened.
And I didn't really know that until now. So Michael Masi, Slick kind of
the referee while he's trying to make critical decisions with cars on the track and marshals and breakdown vehicles. The car was on fire at certain times. He's trying to manage that, and he's getting lobbied left, right and centre. You can imagine that on a football ground or rugby ground is completely unacceptable, and that will change. It's not pretty for Formula One at all, but I don't think this audio today changes the really uncomfortable narrative of what happened. The FIA will release the findings of their investigation on the Friday of the Bahrain Grand Prix. F1 Managing Director Ross Brawn has already made it clear that as of this season, the teams will not be allowed to contact the race director. And there remains question marks over whether Michael Masi will keep his job as race director. It's widely believed that Mercedes dropped their appeal over the Abu Dhabi race on the proviso that Masi would be sacked. However, with the investigation into the race, it still remains unclear whether he'll lose his job or stay on. There have been reports suggesting that he will keep his job, but he will have someone working alongside him to ease the pressure from the role. But
how do you keep your job after that?
FIA's head of single-seaters, Peter Bayer, says Formula One could have a new race director in 2022. Michael did a super job in many ways, we told him that, but also that there is a possibility that there could be a new race director. Bayer, who has long held the role of the FIA's Secretary General for Motorsport, is conducting the inquiry launched following the controversy of Abu Dhabi. Masi failed to follow the rules in two different ways at Yas Marina, over the handling of lapped cars and over the timing of the restart of the race. Hamilton is said to have lost faith with the FIA and will not decide whether to return to F1 in 2022 until he sees the results of the FIA's inquiry.
Which he
the
did.
FIA is
Which he
working
did.
on a new structure for race control. Bayer said this was likely to involve splitting the responsibilities Masi formerly held between a number of different people. Bayer, speaking to the respected Austrian journalist Gerhard Kunzig, said, "We are looking at dividing the various tasks of the race director, who is also sports director, safety and track delegate. That was simply too much. These roles are divided between several people. This reduces the burden on the race director." Bayer confirmed that a revision of the safety car rules was being considered, as well as a restructuring of race control. He pointed out that in the US-based NASCAR series, if neutralization is necessary in the last two laps of the race, the lap counting ends and the laps are added at the end of the safety car phase. This could cause a fuel problem in F1, which is why it's being looked at more closely. We also asked the teams if their requirement not to finish a race under a safety car was still relevant, to which they all agreed. And he said the FIA was considering setting up a mission control at its base in Geneva, similar to the remote strategy groups the F1 teams operate over race weekends to support the race director. He confirmed that the team bosses would no longer be able to talk directly to the race director. The team managers will still be able to. They have to be able to ask questions, Bayer said, but we want to build in a buffer with an employee who accepts these requests. In the future, the race director will be able to concentrate on his task and will no longer be distracted. Bayer underlined that he was only in a position to advise on changes and that he would submit his plans to the FIA president Mohammed Ben Sulayem. The two would then agree to a proposal which would be submitted to the FIA World Council. That will happen on the 18th of March, on the eve of the new season. However, although Bayer did not specify it in the interview, his plans will be presented to the teams at a meeting of the F1 Commission on.
That is very interesting. So obviously they had to go through all of that, talking about having another FIA director to be with Masi, but as we know, Massey's not there no more. Obviously, you gotta get the president, Bayer, the Muhammad dude involved. I mean, I understand, actually, I don't. I just think what this whole issue, whatever it was, it could have been easily avoided if you just followed the rules. And it led to Hamilton not getting his 8th championship. Of course, there's going to be backlash for that. But, it's just crazy to me. But anyway, hope you guys did enjoy the video. You guys let me know you guys' thoughts on the whole Michael Masi thing. Just what you guys think is going to happen now regarding it. Love to interact with you guys in the comment section. Stay safe. I'll see you guys later.